Welcome to BalsaCircle.com, your one-stop shop for all of your event decor. Today we'll be sharing with you how to make this beautiful silk flowers balloon centerpiece that's perfect for spring and summer weddings, bridal showers, baby showers, so many things. Now all the tools will be listed in the description below, but we are going to need some balloons, some silk flowers, greenery, a planter box, zip ties, a wooden dowel, and a few other things. So let's go ahead and get started. Now starting with the balloon part of this DIY, we're using our 16-inch clear balloons. And before we do anything, we want to make sure to stretch them. We cannot stress this enough. You have to stretch the balloon very, very well, starting from the outside and then moving to the middle before you actually put any air into this balloon. If you don't take time to stretch it, it's not going to look round. So make sure not to skip this step. Stretch the balloon before blowing it up. Once we're done stretching the balloon, we're going to get a little fancy. We're using our 12-inch latex balloons and we're going to place it inside that clear balloon. And in order to do that, you need either a balloon stick or a wooden dowel, or like we're using here, a chopstick, something small that you can put the balloon on so you can fit it inside the other balloon. So just go ahead and put that latex balloon on the wooden dowel and then slide it inside the clear balloon. You can use any other color here. We're using purple, but feel free to use your favorite color for this DIY. Now that we have one balloon inside the other, we're just going to use our hand pump to lightly put air into that clear balloon and then the latex balloon as well. And you can keep going and keep blowing it to the full size, but we just found that this way worked the best, where we blow up each balloon a little bit. So feel free to skip this step if you want, but we just found that it was easier to blow them up a little bit before going to full size. It just makes holding the balloons together a little bit easier. And obviously you are using a hand pump, so some air is going to escape. That's okay. As you can see, we're just lightly pinching the balloon so that the air doesn't escape. You can always add more later because we're not tying anything up at this point. We're just putting air inside the balloon. So now to continue blowing the balloon, all you're doing is that you're lightly pinching the balloon. You're not tying it off. You just move the latex balloon out of the way and start putting air into that clear balloon. Now, as you can see, because we stretch that clear balloon very well, it's going to have that nice round shape that we want. And still lightly pinching the end of the balloon, you want to go ahead and put more air into that purple balloon as well. I will say this DIY does take a little bit of time. Go ahead and practice this balloon inside the balloon part of the DIY beforehand so that you know approximately how much time it takes you, so you're not stressing out. And then once you're happy with the size, it's time to tie it off. Now a little trick that we did is we used the clear hair tie here just to secure the balloon before we tied a knot. And the reason is by this point your hands are going to be a little bit tired, so using that clear hair tie, it's just going to prevent air from leaking out. Again, some air is going to escape and that's okay, but this is just going to make things easier for us. And then all we want to do is tie a simple knot, or if that end piece is pretty long, you might want to do 2 knots just to be safe, just for more security. And then we're using a cup from our balloon stick set. Now we did try this look with the sticks, but they just were not sturdy enough for this particular look because we're going to be adding so many silk flowers and greenery. If you just go with the balloon, then you should be fine with just using the stick. But if you plan on adding any other decorations to it, then you'll want something like this wooden dowel. And this size fit perfectly in the cup, so that's why we ended up using it. We did have to cut it down to about 28 inches long. So now moving on to the base of the centerpiece, we're using one of our planter boxes, and it's just one of our square planter boxes that comes with a liner. And we're putting in some styrofoam inside, a styrofoam ball. Now we don't want to worry about the centerpiece being too top heavy or falling over during the event, so we're adding some river rocks to the inside of this planter box. And this goes really well with the rest of the look, since we'll be using greenery and silk flowers, but you can also use marbles or clear rocks. Anything similar to use as a weight would work. Now to dress up this wooden dowel, we'll be using our 72-inch long extra full green artificial leaves garland. The great thing about this garland is that not only is it really long and really full, it's also extremely bendable. So all we have to do is just pull it through that cup and secure it around the base of the balloon. So we're just going to wrap that wire around the base. And then to secure it further to that wooden dowel, we're using small zip ties. Now, again, if you are making this for your event, practice with the balloons ahead of time because that's the part of this DIY that takes the longest. You can always pre-stretch the balloons ahead of time, but a little practice is going to make this DIY just go so much smoother. And also using air for the balloon is going to make it last a lot longer than using helium, just as long as you secure that end knot really, really well. And since this garland is very long, we're just going to cut it down to the size that we want, and then again secure that bottom with a zip tie and then tuck any extra pieces inside the planter box. And to make this centerpiece look even more beautiful, we're going to be using our artificial silk flowers. Now these also have wired stems, so again, they're going to be extremely easy to bend and just add to the centerpiece. Once you're happy with the placement of that silk flower, go ahead and secure it again with a zip tie. And then you can cut off any extra stem that you don't want. Now because the centerpiece may be seen from multiple sides, we're adding some extra leaves just at the top with a little bit of hot glue to hide the zip ties, to hide the stems, and just to make it look like that garland just goes all the way around. Just hot gluing a few leaves on the top will make the whole look that much more elegant. Now for that middle flower, once you've secured it with a zip tie, you can just bend the greenery leaves around to hide the zip ties or to hide any stems. And that greenery and beautiful full silk flowers are just going to make your tables look so beautiful, and your guests are going to love them. And the bottom flower is super easy. All you want to do is tuck it into the rocks. And that's it, you're done. And your centerpiece looks beautiful, gorgeous, and you're ready to celebrate. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If this DIY inspires you and you want to make it, please tag us on Instagram at BalsaCircle or share it in the comments. We'd love to see your creation. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe for all of your creative decor and event ideas. Until next time, stay creative.